The gentleman from California is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise in opposition to House Resolution 115 and yield myself as much time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized for such time as he may consume.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, House Resolution 115 represents the next step in a slow march towards making House committees incapable of conducting the oversight with which they are charged and further limiting the power of this equal branch of government. Mr. Speaker, with these cuts, we're not talking about the loss of new equipment or the next computer or the printer. No. With these cuts, we are talking about gutting our capacity to do the jobs we were sent here to do by the American people. The work product of our committees is only as good as the talented men and women that we are ably employing, and they are very able. The House is lucky to have such a well-seasoned and skilled group of individuals carrying out the people's business. In fact, this is one of the things we always agree on, the quality of the people that work in these committees. It's at the highest level. But for how long? If this resolution passes, there will be a 21.3% reduction in funding from committees since the 111th Congress. More appalling is the 26% cut the Judiciary Committee will sustain during the same time, particularly as we look forward to addressing the comprehensive immigration reform that we all seem to agree on now and the initiatives to reduce gun violence. As the chairman of the Rules Committee stated last week when he testified before our committee, he stated, "We do not have something we can cut or manage on a moving forward basis. We have by and large taken ourselves down to the bare bones. Now we're down to the bare bones." Repeatedly, we heard from committee chairs that the only thing they have left to cut are personnel expenses. The Veterans Affairs chairman stated, and quote, "We have no choice but to find these savings in our personnel budget," end of quote. And the chairman of the Committee on Foreign Affairs said, "We want to make certain that those individuals who make a sacrifice and come up here and work for a reduced wage will stay with us. There is a question of how long and deeply we can cut." Of course there's a question. I think the question is before us. The chairs and ranking members of the House have been responsible stewards. We heard that already, and they have been. And they've achieved incredible savings, but this resolution's lack of funding also hurts our ability to find government-wide cost savings. In fact, it does just the opposite. The committees conduct oversight over billions and billions of dollars of federal spending and have found savings within their respective agencies. However, without high-quality people that have the institutional knowledge and expertise, they will sacrifice the ability to form strong, responsible oversight. The chairman of the Oversight and Government Reform Committee illustrated this best when testifying before the savings his auditors were able to provide the government. He stated, "Cutting back for us, in fact, an opportunity to lose the very auditors that will guarantee you multiple savings. We would like to work with the committee to allow us and other committees to find similar savings. But we must ask that you not allow the audit committee to be reduced, when in fact we can return you more than 1,000 times our budget, 1,000 times. In Mark, it's only 100 times, fourfold in other parts of the Bible. Here it's 1,000 times. Mr. Speaker, members on both sides of the aisle have embraced the idea of doing more with less. We've all grappled with the idea of not filling empty positions, denying requests for travel, and foregoing necessary technology upgrades in our offices. But there is a point where additional cuts undermine the ability to do our job effectively. Based upon the testimony that we received during the committee funding hearings, I believe that there is a bipartisan agreement that this funding resolution could represent that breaking point. In the end, the American people will be the ultimate victims. I urge my colleagues to defeat this resolution. I urge a no vote, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman from California reserves.